Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one, the only XLM. Now, you know me, I'm super high on Stellar. I believe Stellar is going to do very well this cycle. Okay, I genuinely do believe Stellar is going to do very well this cycle. And I do believe it is a crypto that we have to look at. And it is a crypto that I'm going to be doing consistent news for as well. Okay. We can see we are ranked 14 out of 9,222 active cryptos, 8.64 billion market cap, 383 million volume. Over the last year, we are up 116%. Over the last month, we are down roughly 20%. In the last week, we are break even right now. And in the last 24 hours, we are down less than 3%, but almost 3%. We can see, obviously, we are all on all the big exchanges. And I would not be surprised if, look at this volume. My God, look at this volume. People say Binance this, Binance that. Yes, Binance, of course, is a titan. But look at KuCoin. Look at the 24 to 28 million in volume, right? Look at the 23 million here to 28. 20 million to 28, 19 to 28. I mean, Coinbase is kind of like usually the second, third slash biggest one. We can see 53 million in volume on HTX. So look, man, Binance is big, right? That's what I want to say. Binance is big, but it doesn't mean it's always going to be the biggest for your crypto. Listen, we talked about the basics. Let's look at the chart, because let me tell you, this price action is not healthy in terms of buying potential. Now, in terms of holding and going up, it's not healthy. In terms of buying potential, sorry, it is. Okay, it is. We can see that when we go and look at the higher time frame, we do something like this. These types of trend lines never hold. Okay, they just never ever hold, and I don't expect them to ever hold. I overall expect lower downwards movement when I actually see something like this. Overall, when we look at the bigger picture, I'll start there before we start with the smaller picture. I do believe we're kind of in a boat where we're somewhere over here, right? We're somewhere over here. And in general, we will be kind of going down slowly over the next few weeks, kind of looking to flatline and go sideways over the next few weeks while also going down before we see some type of pump, because that's how it always is, right? We go down, down, things start to reverse, things go sideways, things go up, they retest, things go sideways, and then we have big pumps. And that's exactly what I overall expect with XLM, with Stellar, over the next few weeks. Look, when we go on something like the yearly is technically a bearish candle. Okay, it is technically a bearish candle. So what does that usually mean? The way you are in the yearly is usually how you expect to end up. So if we are bearish right now, the last 2 months, I don't really expect for us to really flip. The last 6 months, we are a huge rejection. In the last 3 months, we are a sell-off. In the last month, we are a sell-off as well. The last 4 months haven't really been that pretty. But look, on the higher picture, this is actually really good. We want to be getting pulled back now. Okay, the truth is now we want to be getting pulled back. Okay, the reason why I say this is because 2026 is going to be altcoin season. It's going to be the year of the big pumps, and I overall expect cryptos to do very well. So if we are going to be correcting, we want to be correcting on our bearish year. We can see in terms of the yearly candles, we are consistently creating higher and higher lows, right? We have a bottom here, we have a higher low here. And so even if hypothetically we did close and come back down, downwards of, let's just say 10 cents, 14 cents, 11 cents, we would create another higher low. Not only that, but we have actually shifted and created a higher high in recent times. We had a high here, and in recent times, last year in 2024, we did create a higher high. So what do we have? We have a staircase going to the upside. Okay. Not only that, but we have a lot of liquidity trapped up here. Boom. Okay. We have a lot of liquidity trapped up here. And with the zones consistently going up higher and liquidity being trapped more and more, this is a classic trap for us to really pump heavily, which makes me believe at the bare minimum, we should be seeing a 95, I would say a 95 cent XLM, $1 XLM. When it comes to the price, that's roughly a four times more now than our current market cap. that is going to be roughly what, like 32 to 35 billion. That's easily obtainable. 35 billion market cap in the peak of altcoin season is easily obtainable. To be honest, I think this crypto can be hitting upwards of $3 to $4 this altcoin season. Now that might sound crazy, but that's because I don't think we are going to get the bare minimum. I don't think we are just going to sweep these highs. I think, in fact, we're going to go up to these highs. We're going to probably chill there for a little bit, and we're going to use this as a zone to retest to then have our next level pump upwards of the $3 to $4. Now, you might be thinking this is insane. There's no way this is going to happen. But you have to remember, XLM at one point was at 0.001. So like practically 1/10 of a cent. Okay, at 1/10 of a cent. And within a year, it went to 36 cents, 37 cents. So it did like a 370x. And in the beginning of that year, it went up, pretty much did a 920x. Okay. So that's the thing, people. Do not doubt the power of crypto. Okay. Because the truth is, you might be going sideways and you might pump a little bit, but then within a year span, you can pump a lot, right? Even if we take it before it really, really starts pumping, let's just take it. Let's actually look at it in a more accurate stance. If we go actually and use one of these beloved tools, this price range, let's just say you bought somewhere in the middle here, right? So you would buy at the 0.002, next thing you know, potentially a few months later, right? A few months later, you pump up a decent amount, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 months later, you're up 30x. And then if you actually go further and further, right, do something like this, you can pump all the way upwards of, like I said, this amount. So this would be 447x times your money within a span of, if we take it from here to here, a span of a year practically. So don't doubt the power of crypto. Really, really don't doubt the power of crypto. I'm telling you, once the money starts coming in, once the global adoption starts coming in, crypto can pump heavily. So yes, you're technically right. It did take less money to create these types of pumps, but the fact that there's more and more global adoption and more money in these markets, and crypto's so young, crypto's only at 3 trillion market cap, right? It's only at 3.3 trillion total market cap. That's very, very small. The stock market peaked at like 180 trillion back in 2024. Okay, so it's like 50 times bigger, a little bit less than 50 times bigger. Yeah, sure, it's been around longer, but the point is we can go upwards of 6, 9, 12, 15 trillion market cap over the next year, and that would be valid. That would be valid. Okay, so that is going to be ultimately it. This is why I have very, very high conviction for something like XLM. We are consistently creating higher and higher floors. I do think, in the short term, we could potentially even sweep to 17 cents, go back down to 12 cents. And I think that's where your sniper entry would be. But look, the next couple of weeks, I overall expect it to be bearish. Even right now, Bitcoin's already kind of selling off and rejecting off of this zone over here, right? So momentum is not the strongest. It is not the strongest. Overall, expect Bitcoin to come back down to at least to 92 to 89K over the next few weeks, which obviously means cryptos are going to be taking a dump as well. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.